بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. أيها الأخوة والأخوات
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. And welcome all of you brothers and sisters, and welcome you in your program Fatwa on the air. The first question the questioner is asking, is it allowed to travel from one city to another, like from Houston to Dallas, during this pandemic, knowing this is spread all over the world, not only one area? So what is the rule? Would I be, and this is for a woman, am I going to be sinned disobedience by going out of my city to another city? And the answer, the authenticated hadith on the Prophet ﷺ, so many of them, to prevent to enter a land that has the ta'un, which is a pandemic, or to leave a country that has this pandemic. And the hadith, and that's authenticated and agreed on, that Abdurrahman ibn Auf said, I heard the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying, if you hear of this pandemic in an area, don't go there. And if it happened in an area and you're in it, don't leave that town running away. The other hadith that is authenticated, that Usama ibn Zayd said, the Prophet ﷺ said, At-ta'un, which it is a punishment that was sent to the sons of Israel, or those who were before you. So if you hear about it in an area, don't go there. And it happened in an area and you're in it, don't leave it, running away from it. Look at what he's saying. Don't leave running away from that pandemic. Is it every general pandemic, or is it a specific pandemic? And what it looks that it is any general pandemic, any disease that get to the same status, that's highly contagious, like at-ta'un and COVID-19, all of this. Not to go to an area, not to leave the area that has it. But for something emergency, not a problem. For work, not running away, because the Prophet ﷺ said, do not leave the town running away from it. So the one that Allah's Prophet ﷺ forbid from is to leave running away from that disease. That one allow you to leave the place of the ta'un for the normal traveling, if was not the intention is not to run away from the pandemic itself. And another scholar said, if that pandemic happened in an area, don't go. You're not from it, don't go. And you're in it, don't leave it, because of the hadith. But then he said, what you mean of going in or out for no reason or leaving? So don't leave running away from. Otherwise, for a reason, it is not forbidden. The Prophet ﷺ, from what he mentioned, he said, he made it very clear, and that's why Al-Hafidh ibn Hajar said, he give more details. The area that has a pandemic has three conditions. That you're running away from the pandemic, not for any other intention, that is forbidden. The second one, that you are going to have another intention beside, like wanting to work, and that's not in that. And this is what An-Nawawi that allowed it, and others, to go for work, and then add to it to be free from the pandemic. This is the thing that the scholars are disputed, and they said Umar ibn Khattab that you can leave in that condition. This is what Imam Bukhari had chosen because he had put in his authenticated book that whomever leaves the area that is not suitable for him. And you know the hadith that a group came to the Prophet ﷺ in Al-Madinah and they showed Islam. They had disease from the Medina. They were sensitive to it, so he told them to use the milk and the urination of the camels, and told them to leave the Al-Madinah, and that helped them to cure. So in that hadith that he followed the area of At-Ta'un, that it is not general, that it has for those who left out of fear of that pandemic. So if you're leaving just because you want to leave the pandemic, then it's not allowed. But any other intentions for other interests, work, then it is allowed. Is it obligatory to the witnesses about the dowry, or just to the person to the dowry that is admitted? No, they don't need to know the details of the dowry. So that could be from the thing that the husband or the guardian and the husband to be between them. They are witnessing on the authentication of the marriage. That she accepted, this is the husband, this is the wife, and that's the contract between them according to the Book of Allah and the Prophet ﷺ Sunnah. But they don't need to know all the details of the dowry. Is it allowed to eat from McDonald's? That's from a general question. The slaughtering, we have a general discussion after a big conference about this, what is allowed and forbidden of the food and medicine outside Islamic countries. And they indicated that you could eat chicken from the general areas and to be guarded from the cows and the lamb because of the strength of the doubt, but that does not lead to the forbidden or that it is haram. It is hated to eat it from the general stores because of the way it's slaughtered. There is a doubt about it. If someone worked with the oppressor, what is the level it is allowed and what is forbidden? If you are representing the oppressed, you try to reduce the harm, then you are allowed to work. And that goes to the intention, even though majority is corrupted. The main thing that you're not going to help the oppressor on his oppression. Your intention is to help the weak to reduce the harm that's coming to him. Like whoever close to an oppressor, you could advise him. Try to enlighten him, give him a good advice. And he had the strength to do that, and he could see results. Then open, if you have that intention, stay with it. That will be actually rewarded for it. But can he keep it all the time? No. Shaykh Islam said no. Most of it is the corruption of the intention. Remember the saying of the Prophet ﷺ, whomever agreed with them on their lies and helped them on their oppression is not from me, and I'm not from him, and he will not be on my fountain of the judgment. And whoever didn't believe them in their lies Need help on their oppression. He is among me. I'm from him, and he will come to my water fountain at the day of judgment. Talking about contract, you agree, you buy something from the internet. When you buy it, you give him the days that you're going to send it to him. You pay him, and then it will be sent to the address. This is the group shipping. So if you are representing the seller, no problem. You get the commission of what, but to be the original seller, no, because you are selling what you don't own. And Hakim Husam asked the Prophet ﷺ about these kind of trade. He said, Hakim, don't sell what you don't own, or need to have. If you are a representative, an agent for it, then you get the commission of selling what you don't own. But if you are presenting yourself as the owner, no, you're not owner, and that selling is spoiled. So don't sell what you don't have. A question the sister is asking. I get married in the Eastern country and I have 3 kids. After we came to the United States, we have a problem between me and my husband. My husband left the house and he filed for divorce. Then he asked me to cancel it and come back home. We canceled it, but he never came back and we still have problems. So I filed for divorce at the end. Yesterday came the last part, and we signed. When is the Iddah start, and when does it? He was there in all the meetings. He still said he'd never called the divorce, and he don't want it. And all of this because of her request. She's asking about what is the work, the paperwork from the court, is it enough? I'm supposed to send these papers to authenticate the divorce in the East. But I wanted to know what is the Shara in this area and the Iddah. First of all, we tell her the divorce in the court, it breaks the legal part of the marriage. The husband is the one who does it, or the court, the Islamic court. If he intended to make the divorce, then it is divorce, both ways. But it is to just resolve the law part of it. But he still insists not to finish the. Then we still have another trial with him. Either we discuss with him, we try to convince him, or we'll go to the Islamic court. So first we take this divorce, we take it to an Islamic center. The Islamic center, they would call the husband and try to convince him to finish the matter with divorce and goodness. Either or the divorce, depends what Allah showed him. If the woman who cannot live with him and the husband is given all her rights and is intended to continue, and she's the one who don't want to live with him, then we're against khul. So she give him back what he paid for her of dowry, and they leave. But if it is the woman, she had harm from her husband, either abuse, physical, or even if there's just an insult, if that's authenticated, then we have a divorce for harm. And the Islamic Center can make this divorce if the husband refused to make that divorce. This way the woman will keep all her financial rights. May Allah guide them to what Allah is pleased with and He's happy with. And the family matter should be solved according to Allah's laws. Because when you put your hand in the hand of the guardian, He said, I married you my daughter, or my the one I guardian, according to the book of Allah and the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. So if you started with that, then you break it on the same book and the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. And Allah has a whole surah about at-talaq, a divorce. Oh Prophet, if you divorce the woman, then divorce them to their days and count them and fear Allah. Do not force them out of their houses. They don't leave out of it unless they come with a very clear felony, and these are the limits of Allah, and whoever transgresses against them, he have done himself wrong. You don't know, maybe Allah will bring something good after a divorce. And the divorce in one period, and he cannot. And then she said in the husband-wife until the period is finished. If they touch either, that means that he wants her back. You never know what Allah might come up with. I have an uncle who came to visit my wife, but does she have to wear not to wear her hijab? Of course, because the uncle, both from the mother and the father's side, is okay not to wear hijab in his presence. The question here, again, I want to, can I breastfeed my relatives so they will not marry my daughters? Well, it's supposed to, if you breastfeed, it's just for if the woman cannot give breastfeed, and they choose in the Arabic culture that they try to find a woman who's strong, who's capable of breastfeeding. The Prophet ﷺ was one that was sent for that. So there's nothing wrong with the in the principle, but to have the intentions, you have to cure it. If the intention is pure, then you can see whether it's allowed or not. If it is not good, then you need to sometimes close families. They live in one house, or they are too close to each other. And maybe they're a burden of the mingling. Let the kids breastfeed, so they will not cover from each other. That's understood if there's a need for it. But if there is a corrupted one that you wanted to stop the kinship, no. To stop someone marriage because you want to separate, no. You have to cure the intention, but still the breastfeeding is allowed. I mean, a man is asking about his fiancée. Sometimes they talk and they get easy, but he said, I always make sure that is good. And they talk like the whole night. At 10, they close so they can start next day. Like, there's no flirting, but you know, they open up to each other. Is there a burden? Do we have a problem? So if we with this under Sharia, is it the answer? the talk between the fiancé, it is allowed. But we like a third person to be. So if you are emailing somebody, make a CC to someone else, so you could feel that there is observation on top of you, and makes you more careful about what you say. And this is for guarding, not but to allow it to more to this. Then you go from what is allowed to what is not allowed. And the desires is very easy to play a game on anybody. So be careful, be guarded, to always try to rush into the contract so you could cut the road for the shaitan. And we ask Allah Azza wa Jal to put the love and tranquility and harmony in your lives. And He is capable of that. Ameen. The amount of zakat al-mal from the money. Do we go? Is it gold or silver? And what is the amount of gold that you have to count on? First of all, the minimum is 20 dinars, which is 85 grams of gold. From the silver is 100 dirham, which is 595 of silver. This is the pure. But there is a dispute between this color. Do we go the nisab because of gold or silver? The difference is big, like 10 times the value. This is a dispute between the scholar. In Al Azhar, in their conference second, they said the minimum is measured with the gold. It's more stable and it's easier to deal with, and it's easier to show that the richness that require the because the silver, that's $300. Is that the one who have over $300? He's a rich person? No. So to count it on the silver, does not represent wealth or rich. Also, the values are different between the gold and silver at the time of the Prophet. They were very close in value. The 20 grams equal to 585 of silver. With the difference in the value, and the gold is more stable and more representative of rich. But our scholars in the in Jazeera, they have different what is more suitable for the poor. If we did it on silver, then be more people who's gonna pay zakah. It'll be better for the poor and the needy. Anyway, the matter is very in the disputed area, and you work with the Gordon yourself, and to get out of this dispute, take remember the saying of the Prophet ﷺ, no money is lessened from charity. No money will be decreased from paying charity. And he swear to Allah, who doesn't need really to swear by Allah, because he is the truthful person. Ameen. What is the rule of the person who said why he's angry? By Allah, this maid will not enter the house. He said that 4 times, and his mother needs her. Does he make one kafara when he said that 4 times? And he also said that divorce on me if she entered. And how does he do it? The question, the answer, if your intention is to stress on the importance, meaning to stress it, not to have different swearing, then you are in front of one, and the kafara for it, feeding 10 needy from middle of what you feed your parents, or their clothes in them, or to free a slave. If you can't find it, then fast in 3 days. This is the kafara if you swear. Allah is giving us advice to preserve your faith. And you need to make takfir on the swearing, because whomever made to swear to Allah and he found something better, then let him do something better and let him pay. So to swear by divorce, we tell him that in the Amja they have their own effort on the divorce. It says, from the one who made swear, you ask for his intention. If he meant divorce, then it is one divorce. If no divorce intended, you just want to say then it will be you have to make kafara, and you come back in the first time. The verse Allah said is true: either let go in goodness or you hold in goodness. And after the third one, she cannot be allowed to him until she married another person. And to go back is easy, and in the period. So if it is during the allowed time, so you come back is easy. You can say, I've taken my wife back to her household. We add on this the anger that he mentioned. If it reach where you cannot think, you don't have the knowledge nor the what he's saying. So he doesn't know what he's saying. I could not stop it. Then we use the hadith: no divorce when it is too mad, where you don't know what your knowledge is. You don't know what you're saying or what your intention is. So he needs to be careful for this meaning in the future, because he's on a great danger. He needs to know that the divorce is the swearing of the bad Muslims. So not make the divorce as some play. I mean, The one who got divorced and she don't have her period, what is her idda? If she divorced in purification, we ask, he did not have sexual intercourse in it. It has to be in a time there is a tuhur that he did not touch her. There's and Allah Azza wa Jal always wants to give time for the husband and wife, because Allah Azza wa Jal wants them to calm down. He wants them to check reality. Just like you married according to Islamic rules, then you divorce according to the rules of Islam. So it has to be in purification, and the woman does not have her period, and it be pure that you did not touch her. If you did, you cannot divorce until she has her period, and then she is pure. Allah wants to give you more chance to look back. Maybe Allah Azza wa Jal brings some goodness after that. The period of waiting is 3 periods. What does she do? She needs to stay in her household. Don't leave it, because she's angry to her family's house. Because Allah said, fear Allah your Lord, don't take them out of their houses, and they don't leave, unless they bring something really bad. And these are the limits of Allah. And whomever go beyond it, that he have done himself wrong. You don't know, maybe Allah will bring something goodness. She's still alive. Because if she could beautify herself to him and they had sex, then they are not divorced anymore. By the way, when Allah said do not force them out of their house, but she could go out anyone like she was before. No one can force her out. If she is a student, she could go to college. If she goes shopping, just like she did before the divorce. But she don't go because to her parents, like the one who's unhappy. She could have her own life like she did before. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له. A question after that, a beautiful one, about the tawaf on the graves of the shuyukh. الشيخ البلوي بدوي Jilani, some of the people of the household of Prophet Sallallahu, some, too many names. We say to the questioner, no, may Allah help you, that Allah did not allow any going around except in the house of Allah and Safa and Marwa. Allah said, Allah allowed them to make tawaf on the old house. And Safa and Marwa is part of the virtue of Hajj. Whoever make tawaf around them, it is good. It is a condition in Hajj and in Umrah, like a pillar or part of it. Besides that, Allah did not allow any going around except in these two places. And whomever did it, and then he have added to the religion of Allah what Allah did not allow. Allah will not be worshipped except what the Prophet ﷺ showed us. He alayhi salatu wasalam allowed the tawaf on Kaaba and Safa and Marwa. Whether called Sa'i as it is given in the Sunnah, or Tawaf like it's in the Quran. Only these two areas. Anything beyond that, that's not allowed. And doing that is a bid'ah. Innovation can reach the disbelief. If you are glorifying the person, or whenever you think that you're coming closer to Allah with this innovation. And Allah did not allow any tawaf except in the household, which is to go around the house of Allah. In Saudi Arabia, the fatwa came in about the slaughter for the dead, and who is the wali, and can you make some of the kids to make dua? The answer, it is part of shirk. Whomever gave covenant to Allah of obedience and he stayed away from what Allah has forbidden, even if there is no power that Allah showed in him, you don't have to be abnormal. Some they said that to be good to the father should not get their reward, because if they are Russian, then they have taken 2/3 from Allah, and if they don't do it, then Allah is the one who gives them complete reward. You should not ask any person after he does to make dua to you, and you can ask from the people who are alive, the righteous people who are alive, like the sons of Yaqub. They talked about their father. He said, I will ask Allah's forgiveness. He is the most forgiving. Allah said, when they transgress against themselves and they ask Allah and His Messenger to make forgiveness, they will find Allah is most forgiving. You should not go to tawaf on the grave. It's only for Kaaba. And whomever made the tawaf on the and if this is so you could get closer to them, this is a big shirk. If you think you are getting closer to Allah, to the graves, you don't go around it. You only seek Allah's face. There's a fatwa for Ibn Baz. He said you cannot make the tawaf on the graves, no matter what is the person or the one who is more than him, because it is worship to Allah and it will be for Kaaba, and you cannot make tawaf except in Kaaba. And if you did, this will be a greater shirk. Some people say that if you go and make tawaf, it will be the reward of Hajj. No, there is no such thing. But if he made the tawaf thinking that is allowed, that he is making tawaf for Allah, Allah did not make any tawaf except in Kaaba, or gonna accept Safa and Marwa, and only Allah could be worshipped with the thing that He allowed. So you should not worship anyone but Allah. And to testify that Muhammad ﷺ is His last messenger, you don't worship him except what Allah allowed. Say, Allah has guided me to a straight path. and he was not among the mushrikeen. I bear witness that La ilaha illallah, so no one should be worshipped truly except Allah. And I bear witness that Muhammad is prophet and messenger. No one is, Allah will not be worshipped except through what the Prophet ﷺ showed us and how. That's why they said that the worship that is to, you don't worship Allah except what Allah and Messenger allowed. And the traditions is allowing unless there is an evidence that is forbidden. So the rule of worship is different than ibadah. Inshallah, we'll stop here today. Inshallah, we'll continue Monday. Subhanakallah, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.
السلام